Hi, you usually come across people who have issues in life related to how they observe or how they go about making conclusions about beautiful women. I'm speaking of men out here. Now, when you see a beautiful woman, what's the first thought that comes to your mind? Suppose you see a nude woman, completely nude, and she is displaying her private parts to you, and she's so beautiful that you could drown in her. Now, there are people in this world who find that woman repulsive or find that woman to be objectified or insulted for what she represents, her beautiful body. And that is the state of mind of a lot of men. You learn this if you go to places like college and you see a lot of people doing a lot of things to women. Now, what happens is that kind of mindset usually robs human beings, especially men, from the most beautiful aspect of life, companionship, or copulating, or making love. Now, what happens is, as you progress with that mindset in life, you continuously take a stance in life that puts you in more and more unnatural scenarios. And in those unnatural scenarios, you get, it's something like a wall that is closing in on you in all the four directions. And in the end, you do not remain a human being, you become a vegetable. And that's what you make out of it. Now, all this has to do with do you actually care or love a woman who is making an advance at you without any sort of inhibition or any sort of fear or doubt about that woman's intention to be with you. Now, what happens is most people do not have a protection. Now, this protection is something that is the most critical aspect of human life. What is protection? It is someone who cares for you, loves for you. Sometimes he's your creator. In my case, my creator is Emperor God. That is Emperor God. That is true, the true Emperor of Japan. Now, I know him to be Prince Itachi, and the world knows his imaginary surrogate to be Emperor Naruhito of Japan and his consort. Now, if you do not know this, then you will at some point in life keep asking who's the person or who's the entity to whom I should, you know, make a contact or communicate or make a connection with and live a better life. Now they go about hitting their head on walls with different kinds of people, and those different kinds of people can't do anything for them. Why? Because they don't have any substance. They don't have a spine. These are the kind of people who would, use you and then move on. We as humans are conditioned and brainwashed by society, by media, sometimes even by our elders after they see that there is something wrong with us. And in the long run, it takes its toll. The way I was raised was I had a girl introduced in my life at the age of 3. Now, that relationship did not work out, but I did not end up hating women for that, or my parents, or the society for that. That is what happens to many people. And when that happens, it's a very sad sight. You see that human being, he's a tone one. He does not know where to stop. He does not know, how would I say, he does not know his most important aspect of his life. I'll give you an example. This was somewhere in 1976. My mother's name is, my mother's maiden name was Vijay Lakshmi. And my mother's name after marriage was Krupa. Now, my father's name was Narayan Bhatt. There was Leonid Brezhnev on television, and he says, "That's me." So I said, "How can he be you? Your initials don't matter. My match with him or nothing. What's the logic?" So my father says, "See, your mother's maiden name was Vijay Lakshmi, so I am Lakshmi Narayan Bhatt." So he's an LB and Leonid Brezhnev is a LB. Uh, this is how people who have a vision see the outside world. It's got nothing to do with, how do I say it, being benefited monetarily out of it or something. But they have this kind of a perspective of life. It's a very beautiful one. Now, suppose the Queen Elizabeth II of the United Kingdom is speaking something to a guy, and she's speaking something that is a very odd thing sometimes, but a very beautiful one. She's possibly talking to you, asking you, you take this name. Now, to have that kind of vision, you have to have clarity of thought, you have to have a conscience that's clear. What happens is we listen to all these political, voices, and we, as a world, have become divided between men and women. We see women as toys, women see men as, how do I say, disillusion, which in many cases is true. There are many women who are disillusioned, but it has been seen that a woman, usually if she's a right woman, she would not have problems in life. Same with men. They are able to live a simple life, yet if they get a woman in front of them, they are ready to express love or express desire to copulate, and that woman understands if she has a heart. If she doesn't, then she'll say, "Well, a rotten man." Same with men. When they see a nude woman, do you do you get sexually aroused, or do you find that beautiful, or do you find that repulsive? Now, this is a trend that I have seen since childhood among men. And then they get married and they have a wife whom they control, trophy wife kind of, and they believe that they have principles. Principles and marriage has nothing to do with it. Marriage is a sick institution, and the better, the quicker the humans get rid out of it, it would be a, a, a move in the right direction for human race. Same with children. Now, with children, many people say, "I want a successor to my legacy." Now, if you accept Emperor God, that is the true Emperor of Japan, whom I said is Prince Hitachi, as your God, you don't have to worry about your successor. He can take care of giving you a successor even after your death without using your sperm. Now, if all that is available, why do people go through the trouble of having a child and the confusion that the child has, and raising that child and then suffering, and the child suffers, the child becomes a drug addict, or the parent is, on liquor and can't take it that the child did not see. I'll tell you how it is with a father and a son. I'll give you an example of my father and me, and my grandfather and my father. Now, in my grandfather's case, he had a purpose of seeing to it that his son did not go wrong. and he raised his son in a certain fashion. In my father's case, it was the same, but the process or the course that they took was totally different. My father's point of view was different, my grandfather's point of view. But watching their own son suffer took its toll on them. Or watching their father suffer took the toll on the son. I'm speaking in my case right now, me and my dad. So, as a result, when I look back at life as to what is more important, for me, the most important two things are love and sex. That too, safe, sterile sex, backed by Emperor God. Love and safe, sterile sex, both backed by Emperor God. What do I mean by that? The woman that comes in my life is brought in by Emperor God or approved by Emperor God. So if you want a woman in life, if you want a chosen companion, not a marriage, not a wife who will be bearing you, going through the torture of having kids, spoiling her life, destroying her aspirations of a healthy life, for a man who is possessed, diseased, to want to have children, and in that too because it's mentioned in Quran, Bible, Hindu scriptures, Buddhist scriptures, so on, Christian, uh, Judaism, all nonsense. Why do you need that nonsense when you can live a very simple life, a decent life, by getting in touch with Emperor God, Prince Hitachi, the true emperor of Japan, and after him his rightful successor, whom I have chosen as Prince Hisahito of Akishino, who would be the next emperor god, Prince Akishino. And a lot of people do not understand this concept. Now, why do I say this? Because I have a title that runs in my bloodline as a legacy. It's Emperor Man. The full title is Mesopotamian Persian Emperor Man, Greek god named Zeus, mortal and human bloodline of British Russian lineage. Now, that is my complete title. And each son born in my bloodline is eligible to form the Emperor God Emperor Man pair. Now, the chosen child in my bloodline who's headed for pinnacle of professions and gets that title of Emperor Man is paired with Emperor God to form the Emperor God Emperor Man pair. It is a very beautiful concept. Now, someone who's read too many books will make a mess out of it. However, someone who is evolved, someone who has a heart, someone who can see what is actually happening, will see a completely different picture. Now, what I'll suggest is if there are men watching this video, I'm not trying to, enforce this on you. What I'm trying to say is when your moment of truth comes and when you see a beautiful woman, please see to it that you do not insult her or talk some nonsense like bring a child in the world, all that kind of bull. Understand? And you have a thought process that is too chauvinistic. This is a major problem in this world. Major, I mean, there is no problem in this world that is more severe than this. What happens is many lives get destroyed with this kind of mindset. And it is happening all over the world all the time. And it's a sad thing. Very sad. So when you go and try, now this is a dating website, right? This is a dating app website. The mistake a lot of men do is they hide behind pictures of women, believing that that is the right way of playing around with men. Now, if I put my photograph on a dating website, it is a photograph of a man, it's me. But when these men put photographs, they put photographs of women. I have had experiences in which I recruited a woman and she turned out to be a man. I selected a woman, and the call that I get from the other end is that of a man. Now, see, movies are a totally different thing. In real life, when you're living a real life, you do not try to, go or take a stance that you're not eligible to. Now, I can use a imaginary surrogate of an actress. It can be done, but I don't do it for on a dating website or while chatting with someone. Why don't I do it? Because it's not required. As a actor or as an actress, when you have a social media account or whatever, that the picture can be different. But on a dating website, I really don't understand as to why do people want to be over smart. What is the rush? I have seen African men pretending to be women from America. They give the American American woman's name, address, phone number. God knows what's the problem. This is called pure usurper mindset. Communist terrorist doing anything to get anything, taking things that don't belong to you. Now, if you have this kind of a mindset, you're not going anywhere in life. This is the problem that a majority of men face on dating websites. So when you go on a dating website, see to it that you have a clear conscience. Don't be afraid to express love and your desire to copulate, no matter what the person on the other end says. Remember one rule: if someone asks you for money because you're speaking of sex and love, you could ask, can I have your bank details? And forward those bank details to the President of United States because you're an American, right? Or if you're British, give it to your Prime Minister or your King or your Queen, whomsoever you want to give it. This way, what happens is the person in front who has made a wrong demand, why? Because you spoke of love and sex, safe, sterile sex, has a belief that if someone talks about sex, then you have to talk about money. Money and sex are related, it seems, is it? Now, this is that moment globally in which people with this kind of mindset are going to be in deep trouble. And see to it that you don't have this kind of mindset ever. If someone asks for love and sex, making safe sterile sex, you start asking for money. These are men pretending to be women. It's a very sad fact. These men are, how would I say, they have lost in life. They have lost in love. No one loves them. They have a disease in their head, read too many books. And these books have, taken them in a direction where survival has become next to impossible. They have a wife, they have a woman they visit outside the home. There are women that they speak with on the streets, and they are very sexy men. They drink liquor, consume drugs. Absolutely, they got attitude. They're hip. God knows what not. But the problem is God won't help you in that kind of scenario. If there is no love in your heart for the opposite gender, if you don't have a desire to see to that you have sex, but you don't impregnate that woman or transmit a disease to that woman. If you have a BD and don't let that woman know that I have a BD, and you have sex with her and she gets that BD, then you're a irresponsible person. That's not the way it's done. So when you get on a dating website, keep a very open mind. Open mind to such an extent that no matter what the woman from the front says, you do not get offended, but you have a way of tackling that situation. Now, if the woman says, can you come and meet me? Can you get the permission of the head of state or the head of government of the country? If he says, then I'll. And you also go ahead and tell the head of state and head of government, I was chatting with her on this, and this is what she says. I've been told such and such a thing by my father, and that's the reason I'm doing. Or my mother, if you're from matriarchal family, father, if you're from patriarchal. So these are the things people have lost a touch with. So when a person like me used to chat, I used to chat something like 30 hours at a stretch, 30 hours, possibly sometimes 36, 38 hours, 40 hours on dating websites. And these women were not women. They were men pretending to be women. And I could not get it as to what was the problem with these people. Because I knew very clearly what I had seen in college. The kind of men who did not have any quality. And such men usually become a source of problem for men, for women and the society. And the world suffers as a result of it. This is a point where that is going to stop. That is going to stop in a very big way. So when you go on a dating website, please have a very open mind. I'll give you names of dating websites that are free to join. Means you can do rating, like you say love, don't like, don't like, don't like, and they allow you to be shown profiles. I'll give you examples of such apps: Sweetmeet, iHappy, Only Spark, Ferromance, quite others other than that. But these are my five favorites on which I did a lot of, had a lot of fun. They will block you, they will close you, but you can still open it with a different name or with different details, and that you can do it on these five websites. So I hope this video was worth watching, and I hope you apply what I have told you in this video when you visit dating apps for a casual relationship or possibly a serious one, or maybe just dating or making love and having safe and sterile sex. But in all these scenarios, ask the girl to contact your head of state or head of government if she's not ready to contact Emperor God, Prince Itachi. If you could just do that, it would be something that would change your life for better, and you would come out as a human at the end of it, rather than a robot or an animal, like many men have become, and women who do not have a vision, who have become too self-centered. You could avoid these two pitfalls if you think correctly and see correctly, and if you have the ability to speak from your heart, a bit of head in it. So if you can do that, your life could be a blessed one, and I wish you all the same. Thank you and bye.